Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Science. So today I will be discussing regarding an very interesting and important topic, that is early marriage. How to see the combinations of early marriage through astrology in your birth horoscope. You see, many a times it happens that we get to know or listen or hear in our society or in our vicinity, friends, family, brothers and sisters, that someone is going to get married at such an early age. Yes, we may get surprised, but it happens many times. It happens that we come to know that someone is going to get married at such an early age. Okay, so what are the astrological combinations which can actually show the promise of early marriage for a native in their life? That I will discuss today in this video. So stay till the end so that you don't miss a single combinations to check it how you can have those promises, okay, in your birth horoscope. And as usual, if you are new to the channel, please mind to subscribe the channel, press the notification bell icon so that you get to know whenever I upload a new video in the YouTube. And if you want a consultation from me, then check the links in the description. Okay, so let us start. That what are the different astrological combinations which can actually say that how to check early marriage for a native in their life. For marriage, you have to see the seventh house, but here I will say check the axis of first house and the seventh house. See, first house is the lagna, first house is yourself, you, okay, and seventh house is the other person. So anytime the dignity of the first house and the seventh house, that axis is very strong, then that also brings a great chance of early marriage. Like suppose presence of benefics in the lagna, that is the first house, or in the seventh house, means in that axis, but the condition is benefics should not get afflicted, benefics should not get any malefic aspect, they should be unafflicted, and they should be present in the 1-7 axis, like suppose Jupiter, Venus, okay, strong moon, I will say. Now here someone may say that I am having full moon. Someone is having the birth in the full moon night, okay, and moon is having in the lagna, or suppose having someone is having exalted moon in the lagna, and at the same time it is having a full moon. So in that particular case, what will happen? In case of full moon, sun will be present in the seventh house. Now since sun is considered to be a mild cruel planet, mild malefic planet, so that can actually delay the marriage. That is not a combination of early marriage. Okay, so here while checking the benefics, I will say that please check the presence of Jupiter or Venus in the 1-7 axis. That will be much more powerful as compared to the full moon or exalted moon over there. Now check the presence of first lord and the seventh lord in the horoscope, how they are posited, what is the dignity of the lagna lord and the seventh lord. They should not get afflicted, because you see lagna lord is you yourself, me, that is the this body. If I am getting afflicted, that means there is a less chance that I will be having the same type of perception towards the marriage, because if I am not happy, how can I revert back the same happiness to the other people? The same goes for the seventh lord. If the seventh lord gets afflicted, then there is again it delays the marriage. So you have to check first thing, benefics in the 1-7 axis, specifically Jupiter and Venus, unafflicted without the malefic presence and malefic aspect. Second, check the dignity of the first lord and the seventh lord in the horoscope, how they are posited in the birth chart with proper dignity. If their dignity is very good, so you are going correct. Okay, next check the position of sun, moon. You see, sun is the soul, moon is the mind. If sun is getting afflicted, if moon is getting afflicted, then what happens? That our mind, our soul is not clear. That is how we perceive the world. Moon basically goes through our mind. If our mind is not in our control, so marriage comes with a huge amount of responsibility and duty. So our mind and soul should be in our control. So that also shows that how the marriage will go and how quick your marriage will happen. So anytime you see that there is a benefic aspect on sun or benefic aspect on moon, then there is a great chance of early marriage. This is very important. I'm talking about. Someone will say that why sun and moon? Yes, sun and moon is very important, because many a times what happens, we can check the horoscope from sun also, from moon also, making them as lagna, Chandra lagna or Surya lagna. So this is the next point. Next you have to check the second house, that is the second house and eighth house both. Why second house? You see, second house is the house of our family. Whenever the marriage takes place, a new member comes in our family, or a new member get attaches to our family, our family expands. That is the reason significator of second house is also Jupiter. Jupiter is the significator of wealth and expansion. From the second house we see all of those. So anytime there is a very good dignity of the second house or second lord, so you are going correct that yes, there is a chance of early marriage. At the same time, check the eighth house, because eighth house is the house of longevity of the marriage. It is second from the seventh house. So in the second and eighth axis, there should not be any malefic present. If there is any malefic presence or aspect on the second and eighth, then what will happen? Then it will delay the marriage. Now depending upon the affliction, the delay will be considered. Okay. Next you have to check that what is the condition of your fourth house. Now you may say that why fourth house? See, fourth house is the house of our peace of mind. It is the Suksthan, house of happiness. How happy are you? What is your perception towards the happiness? If you are not happy, how can you give the happiness to the other person? Because it cannot happen that you are giving your miseries to them, because if you are doing it such a way, then you are actually bringing miseries in your own life. So fourth house, afflicted fourth house or malefic presence on the fourth house can also delay the marriage. So if the fourth house and fourth lord is well placed, then that is also a very good sign for early marriage. Next you will check the fifth house. Fifth house is a part of Dharma Trikona, okay, but fifth house also deals with each and everything which can give you happiness, pleasure, because you can check it in from that way also, that fifth house is second from the fourth house, gain of the fourth house. So everything which can give you pleasure, happiness, love, that is dealt with the fifth house. That is the reason love and romance is also seen from the fifth house. So when you are going to get married at such an early age, specifically in today's time, most of the time what happens that when we are going to get married, our own consent is very important. Back in the days, it was the time when that people were running out with their husband or wife, means to whom they are going to get married, they are running away, okay, and going to get married. But nowadays what happens, the families are much more supportive and they are much more understanding. So your consent is very important, and your perception towards love, romance and everything which actually gives you happiness and pleasure, that is fifth house. So if there is a strong fifth house, then there is a maximum chance that it may happen that you are happy to have a marriage at such an early age. Regarding seventh house, I already told that what is the influence of seventh house, because you see, seventh house is the house of marriage. Not only that, it is also the house of partnership. You see, your marriage partner is also a partner for your life. Basically you are going to have the marriage only after signing into a legal document. Only thing is that you will stay with that partner for the rest of your life, and it may happen that our views don't match, means my and my spouse's views, your and your spouse's views, it may happen that it does not match, but that is the beauty of marriage, that you come to a common point and agree with each other. That is the commitment, that is the duty. That thing can be seen from the seventh house of marriage. That is the reason the dignity of the 1-7 axis comes very important. Presence of a benefic planet like Jupiter, Venus unafflicted in the 1-7 axis, it increases the efficiency of marriage. It also increases the chances and promise of early marriage. Now all these things, if they have a very positive probability in your horoscope, then I can also say that not only you will have early marriage, you will also have a very happy marriage. Okay. Now after checking each and everything, specifically the position of Venus, position of 7th house and 7th lord, Jupiter, each and everything. Now for a girl's chart, check the position of Mars and check the position of Jupiter. Because you see, Jupiter in the back in the days, Jupiter was considered as a guru, and in the ancient times it was believed that the husband was the guru to his wife, because with his wisdom, with his dharma, he can protect the wife. Okay, that is the importance of Jupiter in the life of a wife or a girl. So Jupiter's position and presence and dignity is very important there. Okay, now after Jupiter, check the position of Mars in the female horoscopy. Why? Because Mars is actually the we say that man is from Mars. So for a girl, Mars becomes very important. Mars also shows the vitality and virility. Okay, so that is also very important. For the male's chart, check the position of Venus, because Venus is the spouse, Venus is the wife, and Venus has to be checked in both of the cases, because Venus is the natural significator of spouse and marriage. Jupiter is only for the girls. Okay, but in case of boys, check the position of Venus specifically, because Venus is the significator of wife, spouse and marriage. So if Venus is very well placed, so you can say that marriage is going to be very fruitful. The wife is going to be very charming, beautiful, or very supportive, very balanced situation in the life after the marriage. Prosperity, wealth, everything can be seen. Okay, because Jupiter and Venus are such are two planets. Basically, Jupiter is the guru to the gods, and Venus is also the guru. Although Venus is the guru of the asuras, but still they both are gurus, they both are learned, and they are blessing each one of us. Now after checking each and everything, check this in the D9 chart. Check the fluctuations of the dignity of the planet in the D9 chart, because you see many times what happens, that in your D1 chart everything is okay. You will say that all the scenarios, all the combinations are matching in my horoscope, but still I am not having that feeling to have an early marriage in my life. Why? Check the D9 chart. Check the dignity of the D of the Lagna lord, of the 7th lord, of the Venus, of the Jupiter, of the Mars, 4th house, 5th house, each and everything. Check it there. Is it fluctuating? Is it the effect or the dignity is diminishing there? Check it. Now after doing each and everything, another thing which is also very important, I will say one of the most important part, check the 11th house. See, 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes. Not only that, it is the highest of the Kamatrikon houses. It has the capacity to fulfill all of your desires of your life. Specifically in case of marriage, every one of us have some desires. Why? Because we are going to have a spouse for our lifetime, so we must have some desires in order to have a life partner in our life. So are your hopes and wishes and promises and desires are going to be fulfilled or not? Check the 11th house. Basically 2, 7, 11 are the houses of marriage, but apart from 2, 7, 11 we should also check the 4th house, 5th house, 8th house for the longevity of the marriage, 9th house, because 9th house is the house of dharma significated by Jupiter. See, marriage is a dharma, marriage is not a karma. Many a times we have a misconception over here. Marriage is a dharma because we have to uphold the duty, commitment till the end of our life with that spouse. The same goes for her or him also. So, if your luck, fortune, and your ability to carry on the dharma ahead in the future, are you having that within you? Check the 9th house. Regarding Jupiter, I have already told before, so I am not going to repeat it here. But check the 9th house there. Check the efficiency of the 9th lord. The same goes for the D9 chart also. Check it in the D9 chart also. At last, I will also add the 12th house here. See, 12th house, you will say that why 12th house? 12th house is the house where we lose everything. It is the house of loss, Vyay Bhav, isn't it? It is the house where we are not attached to anything now. Means we can give it off now, where everything dissolves, no more attachment, no more nothing, confinement. But 12th house is also the house of bed pleasure. It is the house which can actually show that after the marriage, are you going to get that happiness or not. So that efficiency of the 12th house can also be an important factor in that early marriage. Now see, after discussing all these points, question may arise that will my marriage sustain, will my marriage get the longevity till the end of the life. So for that, checking the longevity of the marriage or checking the sustainability of the marriage, for that different combinations are also there. But today I am not talking regarding all these things. I am just pointing out the astrological combinations which can actually say are you going to have early marriage in your life or not. Now these many combinations are there. It is not possible that you are having all of those combinations in D1 and D9 both. It is not possible. But to the extent how much you are having, till that extent that marriage will be early in your life. If there are minimal afflictions, then your marriage will be not so late. At a very normal age you will be having that marriage. But if you are having the afflictions to a very great extent, then the marriage will be delayed, the marriage will get late. But who will decide that what is the early age, what is the late age? We don't know what is the early age for you, what is the late age for you. That will be decided by the time, place and circumstance. That is what we call Desh Kal Patra. You will see that in some societies, in some nation or state, the early age of marriage can be below 21, somewhere it can be below 25, or somewhere it can be below 30. Okay, it depends upon the time, place and circumstance. You have to apply that rule also. You can you cannot suddenly predict without checking the time, place, circumstance, because it may happen for someone the early age is below 21, he or she is getting married below 21. Now you will think that how come I am having that combination but I am still not married now? How come he or she is going to get married at such an early age? That comparison can only be fruitful only if you consider the Desh Kal Patra or time plus circumstance. Otherwise you will fail terribly. You won't be able to get the result of these predictions. So checking into all these things, if you are having these combinations in a perfect manner, to the extent of it, you are going to have the marriage at such an early age in your life. So I hope you have liked this video, and if you have really liked it, press the like button, share it among your near and dear ones, to your friends, brothers and sisters, so that they can have a look into it. I hope you will be liking it. And next time when I come back, I will be coming back with yet another interesting video regarding all these things. So till then, I'm signing off for today. Bye bye. Thank you.